Under the warm skies of Mallorca, in the captivating atmosphere of Palma bathed in summer light, a rare and delicate scene unfolded, far from the spotlight, but captured by a few attentive eyes. Queen Letizia of Spain, accompanied by her two daughters, Princess Leonor of Asturias and Infanta Sofia, surprised everyone by treating themselves to a discreet and unexpected getaway, a trip to the cinema. An event that might seem trivial for any family, but which, in the ultra-codified world of the Spanish monarchy, takes on a profound symbolic dimension. That evening, it was not a red carpet, nor an official gala. That evening, royalty was humanized. It was in a small screening room, far from the crowds, that the three most scrutinized women in Spain decided to share a simple, almost ordinary moment. No official statement, no photos released by the royal house. And yet, a few discreet witnesses, employees, anonymous clients, recognized the familiar silhouettes, simply dressed, hair down, sunglasses in hand. Letizia, true to her understated yet elegant style, seemed intent on erasing all traces of status. Leonor, just returned from a long trip of public engagements, radiated a peaceful energy. And Sofia, as bubbly as ever, seemed to savor every minute spent alongside her sister and mother. A bubble of intimacy in the midst of an intense summer. Why such an outing, and why now? In reality, the choice of cinema is not so trivial. It symbolizes a clear desire to reconnect with a certain normality, with a youth that Leonor and Sofia, despite their status, seek to preserve. The film screened, the title of which has not been revealed, was reportedly a Spanish drama, both introspective and aesthetic. The choice of such a film reveals a shared taste for culture and an intellectual curiosity that Queen Letizia has carefully cultivated in her daughters from a very young age. Because behind the smiles and impeccable outfits, there are women who read, debate, and question. Palma isn't just a tourist destination for the royal family. It's a place of refuge, of family memories, but also of discreet strategies. Every summer, the royal household orchestrates a series of carefully planned appearances there. Official visits, outdoor photos, charity dinners. But this year, the spotlight has focused elsewhere, on how the Spanish royal family is trying to reinvent itself. After years of crises, scandals, and public distrust, Letizia, more than ever, seems intent on writing a new page. A page where proximity replaces distance, where humanity takes precedence over protocol. And therein lies the symbolic power of this evening at the cinema. By appearing without regalia, the Queen and her daughters send a powerful message. They are present, rooted in reality, aware of the gaze of a constantly evolving society. They know that every gesture, every movement, every lack of makeup is being interpreted. And they know it so well that they use it as a subtle communication tool. The timing is no coincidence either. Princess Leonor, 19, is entering a new phase of her career. After her rigorous military training and her remarkable stint in the United States, she is preparing to take on increasing responsibilities. A family outing, far from the strictness of uniforms and ceremonies, serves as a moment of respite. A gentle, almost maternal transition, orchestrated by Letizia to maintain the fragile balance between royal authority and individual freedom. As for Sofia, she has just reached a symbolic milestone, graduating with honors from high school. Far from being overshadowed by her older sister, she has managed to shine her own spotlight. This shared cinema is also a way to discreetly celebrate the younger sister's successes. A tender gesture of recognition, a way of saying, "You are important, too." The bond between the two sisters has never been so evident. Witnesses speak of stifled laughter, hands brushing, and knowing whispers during trailers. But beyond the emotion, we must also observe the more strategic motives of this escapade. Queen Letizia, a former journalist, is perfectly familiar with media dynamics. She knows that a stolen snapshot is sometimes worth more than an official statement. By authorizing, or tolerating, this brief appearance, she reinforces her image as an attentive mother, a woman close to her children and the people. An image very different from that of certain other crowned heads, perceived as stuck in an archaic protocol. This strategy of discretion is not new, but it is gaining in intensity. We recall the impromptu strolls in Madrid, the stolen moments at the Santa Catalina market, or the anonymous visits to the bookstores of Palma. Each time, an image of closeness is cultivated. A controlled closeness, certainly, but always effective. It anchors the monarchy in a modern, urban, educated, and feminine Spanish reality. And above all, it helps avoid the pitfalls of ostentation at a time when public opinion is particularly sensitive to inequalities and privileges. However, it would be naive to believe that all this is happening without calculation. The simple fact that this outing was noticed, reported, and shared on social media proves that it is part of a carefully planned communication strategy. The Spanish monarchy, more than ever, needs to re-energize the royal narrative. And this narrative requires moments like this, unexpected, human, and sincere. Moments that echo Leonor and Sofia's youth, their future, their place in a changing Spain. Letizia's silent presence, watching her daughters in the darkness of a movie theater, is a powerful image. She is a queen, yes. But she is also a mother. A woman who knows that her role is not only to ensure monarchical continuity, but also to transmit values, to protect her children from the media turmoil while preparing them to face it. That evening, in that dark room, there was something deeply moving, a royalty on standby, attentive, vulnerable. What's fascinating about this scene is also what it reveals about the bond between the three women. Leonor's tenderness for her mother, Sofia's admiring look at her older sister, Letizia's discreet smile when they laugh together. So many tiny details that nevertheless speak volumes. We imagine them sharing comments on the film, exchanging impressions, savoring these few hours away from prying eyes. We imagine them, quite simply, being themselves. And meanwhile, a few meters away, the city continues to live, tourists stroll, the cameras remain off. But those who crossed paths with these three royal shadows that evening know they witnessed something exceptional. A parenthesis, a pause in the grand narrative of the monarchy. A moment that, because it was fleeting, remains etched in our memories. At a time when the monarchy must redefine its place in the hearts of the Spanish people, perhaps it is precisely these gestures, simple, genuine, discreet, that constitute its best chance of survival. Not the crowns, not the uniforms, not the speeches, but the looks, the gestures, the silences, and that final question that lingers, floating like a theme song. What if the next generation of royals had decided to win hearts not through grandeur, but through the grace of the ordinary? What does this discreet exit really reveal about the future face of the Spanish monarchy?